So, week 4, day 1. This one was really interesting. A lot of what I took out of it were different aspects that she gave. So, this was talking about different ways to go about things, different how you can reword things to make them more beneficial and to just put positive spin on things. So, the first thing that we talked about was building, asking questions to be able to build relationships. And Tommy Migrant talked a little bit about that. And I think it's just a great reminder of making sure that we're asking the right questions so that we can get the right answers, so that we can be able to build those relationships and help people get to where they need to be. And a few of those wordings that she had talked about was, she went through the 11 badass words to use, and a few of them that I taken away from it was share tools. And what I wrote down was share tools, not selling the product, because you want to explain how they're working for you and how they're beneficial and what have you seen. Everybody loves hearing a story. Everybody loves other people's journeys and why it worked for them. So instead of saying, well, this product did this, say, this is how I used this tool to get to where I need to be. What was the benefits to me? How did it benefit me? You're not trying to sell something. You're trying to share your knowledge and how you've gotten to where you need to be and what benefits have you seen from doing that. Another one that she said was, how would you feel starting Shakeology to get more energy and work through your struggles? How would you're putting it back on them for them to explain to you where they're at. What if I could give you this tool to get you to those goals that you had told me about last week? That's a great way, and I never really thought about it that way, of using just different words of tools and framework and that kind of stuff. It's not something that I thought about, but it's a great way to, put the perspective back on them. And then, like anything else, if they're making the decision, then they're going to be more apt to do it. If you're making the decision for them, then it's going to be a little bit different. Saying thank you, that's huge. That's just life. This one I really like too is rewording it so that you're not saying the price of this equals, $2 a day or $5 a day or $2 a meal. Changing that word of price to value, and that's huge. I never really thought about it that way, but it's not a price. Everybody's saying, are you willing to pay the price to get what you want? Well, is it really a price, or is it just an added value that you're bringing to your life? That was huge. That one's still sticking in my mind since I watched the video. I'm trying to think of how to work it in, how to use it. It's such a great tool and a great word to really flip out, and I never thought about it that way. So that's definitely going to be one of the things I'm going to try to use more of, is a value. How is it value to me? How is it going to be a value to you? How can this product bring higher value to your life, and what has it done for my life? So that's a huge one. Another one I never thought about, we talked about why. Why are you doing this? Why? What's your reasoning? And they talked about not using the word why because it brings a defensive mode to them. And I never thought about it that way. Why haven't you done this yet? Why are you hesitant? And they were mentioning that, why could be negative. When you were a kid, why didn't you clean your room? Why didn't you do this? It's a negative connotation, which will bring defensiveness to the responses that you have. So keeping that in mind, when you think you know what you're trying to say and you think it makes sense in your head, how are people going to react and what it mean in their life? Something I never thought about. So that was really, really cool. Ending in a positive note, that's something. I like the wording that they said when they said ending with a positive note or something lighter, of using the saying, let me share with you. That was a really good word. You always try to bring it back to them. You try to bring something back to what their journey is and what they're going through and what they've told you. But sometimes it's not always about them. Sometimes it's, let me share how this has changed my life. And when they see what it's done for you, sometimes it will change their mindset and it'll put things in a perspective. So that was something really I never thought about doing, but I think it's a great just little tweaks that we make to get to where we need to be. Lastly, one of the tips was think of an excuse as a smokescreen. So if you were given the opportunity to learn with them, or you earn the right to actually close a deal, like, how would you do that? And I think that's key, is finding those excuses and turning them into opportunities. And we talk about it a lot, but I never really understood how to put it in a perspective. And I think that you have to be able to address the issue by turning the excuse into an opportunity, but making it work for them. Personalize it back to what they've told you. And that comes back to listening to what they're saying. If you're just focused on how you're going to get this to them and having them buy into it and all that fun stuff, then you're going to kind of lose that relationship and that trust that you have with them. Once you lose that, you're done. So find something that's going to bring back the opportunity. Reiterate what they've said to you and use that to bring a positive spin on things that you can bring an opportunity to their life. Recap what's going on. Find what they've said and make sure you earn the right to close with them. And that was huge. Like, I never thought about why would I have to earn it to close with them? Well, if you don't have their respect, then why close a deal, right? You need to have that trust and everything from them. So you need to really think about that aspect of it and just gain that connection, gain that positivity with them, that you can have their trust in. They'll be able to trust the knowledge that you give them. And I think that that's going to be really, really big. She had one more video that I had talked about, and it was how to influence people. And I just want to go over real quick on that, the 4 keys to that. And one of them is, pairing the opposite language. So there's a language of preachers and there's a language of teachers. And the key to those is the preachers are short term. They set a quick fire. They get you going. You leave that, listening to that video, and you're like, yeah, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. But then 2-3 days down the road, do they really still have that fire, or is it relit? Where a teacher is more duplicable. They give you all the information. They tell you all the knowledge that you need. But sometimes it doesn't always give you that fire. So you need to have that change of knowing both. And that's where pairing the opposite languages. You may be a preacher, so go watch some videos on how to teach, how to go through that aspect of everything. The second one is, use like a teacher-preacher sandwich. How can you work the two together to have the balance of inspiring them, but maybe 2 or 3 days down the road, give a little knowledge, try to teach them something, bring them into it, and then come back with the powerful last impression that you're going to have, so that when they leave, they have that. So you want to give them all the opportunities, and really study all the different aspects. Find videos, find people that have both, positives in their life, and then put those together. Find out how do they do it, what are they doing, how are they making it work, what do you like about their wording or how they go about it. Those are key things. And then lastly, you want to create a visualization. You want to be able to speak of those steps that you're going to take. If they can visualize themselves making those steps and making those strides and meeting those goals, then it's going to be so much more clear. And that's really, really key. And I think that's key with us as coaches too, is we have to be able to visualize that we have the ability to do this. You have to believe in yourself. Believe in what you're doing, and believe that you have the knowledge and the support to get to where you need to be to help people and to give them the life that you want to give them. So there's a lot to take away. There was a lot of videos, but those are some of the key things that I had taken away and I really want to put into action, as I've been going through this process, and really see my mind changing in the way I'm thinking and how I can touch different people and meet new people and just really share this journey and this love that I have for what Beachbody has to offer us. And there's so many more things coming down in the future. So I'm looking forward to what's next and just really learning from all these videos and gaining a mental transformation so that I can make this better for the people that I can touch and the people that come into my life.